Tonight, we'll be hearing from a very respected elder statesman in every sense of it, a political economist, Professor Pat Tome, who is life for us in Lagos. I'll be going to him in a moment on the state of the economy. The Tinubu government says we are on the right track. Things are getting better. And that Nigerians will now start benefiting after 2 years of what has become a pain based on the policies of the government, which they say is a tough curve, and we are already turning the curve in getting better. But first and foremost, let me speak with a former lawmaker, Senator Dino Melaye, who resigned from the PDP, citing the party's inability to rescue Nigeria from what he described as prevailing political cankerworms. Senator Melaye, a former senator for Kogi West, made his known on his social media handle, where he shared a signed resignation letter addressed to the PDP chairman in Ward 1, Ayeto Rogbede, the Jumu local government area of Kogi State. He said that he's shown the membership card of the ADC, his new party, in a later dated 4th of July 2025. Let's now speak with Senator Dino Melaye, a lawyer and a former senator. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, but I will correct that there are no former senators.
Always a senator.
Once you are a senator, you are a senator
by title
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
By title, you are a senator and forever will be. Just like a governor will forever be a governor. But by active participation, you are not in the National Assembly.
But you can't address a senator as a former senator.
As a former federal lawmaker.
You can't say that. Thank you.
You're already proving your case anyways. Interesting. Good to see you.
My pleasure.
After a long time of holiday from public...
Yeah, I went to school. I was on sabbatical.
You're almost a grandfather.
Yeah.
It's not too late to learn.
Yeah, I'm, as I speak, I'm still a student. Yeah.
Good. But how's it been?
Very well. We live in times of opprobrium, but God is helping us.
Where are the cankerworms now?
They are still around, and some of them around the villa, some of them in the federal secretariat. They're all around.
So you left your beloved PDP, the party you hugged, to kick away the APC.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Because the PDP became sick, and unfortunately, the party completely lost direction. The party lost leadership, and the existing leadership compromised. And we should not be loyal to banners. We should not be loyal to parties. We should be loyal to our faith. We should be loyal to the people we call either our followers or fellow citizens. So I chose to be loyal to the people, not to a political party.
Yeah. So I mean, there are those who say anywhere Atiku goes, Dino goes. Is that the case for you?
Anyway, I will start by saying I'm not 18, and I've won elections in this country to the House of Representatives, to the Senate. If there's convergence of ideology with Atiku Abubakar, it's a fantastic thing. But I'm a man of my own.
You've had friends, and you don't hide your friends.
Not at all.
Bukola Saraki, you always show when you were both.
It's my friend.
He's your friend.
It's my friend, and it's still my friend.
And of course you've dumped him in the PDP. You left him behind in the PDP. But you have.
Bukola Saraki ran for presidency. I didn't support him, and that did not have any negative concomitant effect on our friendship.
And you don't regret not supporting your friend?
No, at all. That's what I'm telling you.
That is
what I'm telling you. That I will rather be. It is greater to be loyal to humanity than to be loyal to your friend. Because at the end of the day, it is the people that matter. And I move with the people.
So Atiku is your man any day, anytime?
Atiku, I have, by the grace of God, indestructible relationship with President, maybe so, Vice President Atiku Abubakar. But that does not mean that I do not have my own principle as a human being. I do not have my own ideology as a human being. And when Atiku is not doing the right thing, I will say so. In fact, any human being at all, for that matter. But I share a very strong political relationship with Atiku Abubakar, and there's no regret.
So you didn't follow him to the ADC? You on your own volition?
I am a member of the ADC. I follow no one, I only follow Christ. But I have political relationships.
You follow Christ?
Yes.
Because you are Daniel?
I follow no one.
Are you a Christian?
Not because I'm Daniel, because I've been purchased
by
our Lord Jesus Christ.
So you know God.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised. This guy knows.
No.
This guy knows God.
It is you that actually need some celestial touch to understand the things we Christians understand.
It's established. By the way, my other name that you don't know, by the virtue of this conversation, I'm Andrew, actually. You may be Daniel.
The Andrew in you is Eden.
Jokes apart.
Yes.
Will you be supporting Atiku for president in 2027?
At this stage, honestly speaking, I do not want us to put that in the front banner.
Hey Sacramento, Vazgen here, CEO of Kobe.
Especially those of us in the ADC, we need to create a comfortable, stable platform. And I believe that platform will produce the candidate that will unseat President Ahmed Bola Tinubu in 2027. But to start talking about, I have made it a point of duty that I will not be talking about a presidential candidate or presidential aspirant or preference for anybody until we get the party completely stabilized and organize a transparently honest convention.
But how do you do
that? Will produce a presidential candidate of the ADC who, by the grace of God, will kick.
How do you do that? Because a lot of people already said the stage is set, that this looks like an Atiku vehicle of running for election, the ADC.
Anyway, Atiku is yet to declare his intention to run for the 2027 election. Atiku is yet, but what Atiku is doing is rescuing this country, bringing together men of honor and valor to ameliorate, to correct, to palliate the satanic manifestation of the APC in this country.
Which you helped bring to power.
Once I was blind, now I can see.
So you regret helping APC and going to the podium where the MC of most of the... You spoke Hausa, you spoke
regret in totality, just like you every day, through the Lord's Prayer, confess your sins and ask for forgiveness. Every day you do that. Catholics go every day. They confess their sins.
So you regret ever being associated with the APC?
Anyone who has moved with the devil, anyone who has moved with an unholy tendency, definitely should regret it.
How would you describe the APC as devil? The APC that says that it wants to straighten the path for Nigerians, APC that says that their policies are for the average Nigerian people to make their life better?
Sheung, if not because of your job here in channels, if not because of codes of operation, if not because of some tenets and doctrines of operation as a journalist, you don't need a prophet to tell you what is happening in this country. You don't need anyone. It is visible even to the blind and audible to the deaf that we are in a precarious situation in this country like we have never been. It has never been this disastrous. It has never been this terrible. The hunger in the land is shattered. People are dying of malnutrition in the rural communities of this country. People are beginning to visit garbage centers to look for crumbs and food.
Hypori is a highly secure virtual mobile operating system, accessible from any edge device anywhere. What it means is we're essentially a virtual cell phone, or...
Take a trip today to your village and just announce that you want to share 2 bags of rice. If you're not careful, there will be death casualties. as a result of the struggle just to get one tin or two tins of rice.
But
that is the situation we are in this country.
Senator Melaye, those who, in this government, they said, look, they're taking tough decisions over the past years of indecision and inability or lack of audacity of past leaders to take those difficult decisions. And this government said, we're taking those tough decisions, and in the end, it will pay off.
Maybe you do not have the gift of interpretation of tongues. APC speak in tongues. And what they are telling you that they are taking tough decisions, they are telling you that we are putting you Nigerians on a tough. We are taking you through rigorous struggle. We are taking you through hunger. We are taking you through malnutrition. We are taking you through insecurity. We are taking you through problems like we have never seen
which
in this
could be
country
momentary,
before.
And at the end of the day, we'll be better off instead of kicking the can down. At the end of the day,
when you have a roadmap, when you are using a GPRS, you are likely to get to your destination. But APC and this government is a car being driven by a drunken driver. But the possibility of getting to your destination is not there.
So you don't see hope, even when they are preaching renewed hope.
What they meant by renewed hope is renewed hope for the hopelessness, for the hopeless. In the sense that those who believe in hope, they are announcing the obituary of hope to hopeless Nigerians. What I can tell you categorically is that you are an investigative journalist. Go to the streets of Abuja. Go to the interiors of Kubwa or Nkubo and have just 1 minute interview with people. Ask them if there's hope. There's no hope in a country where you have two national anthems.
There's one that has been...
My brother, I've gone to many programs, even government-organized programs. They sing two. At times they say, no, sing one, sing this one. In a country where you have a denomination of your currency, two denominations of a particular currency. When, as a child in my social studies, I was told that money is a legal tender. And in every country of the world, you have one denomination of one particular type of your currency. You have two types of 1,000 naira notes. It has never happened anywhere in the world. You have two denomination of 500 naira notes. You have two of 200. You have two of 100. And you are thinking there will not be fake currency everywhere. And that is what we are spending.
Let me ask you.
We are in a outrageously calamitous situation. We are in a confused state in this country.
Are you saying this just because you supported Atiku Abubakar? Because some of the policy of this government are also preached in the campaigns by someone like Atiku Abubakar.
My brother, I think you will show me some regard by thinking that I will myopically be talking from sentiments or be talking from relationship and friendship. No! I am a distinguished Nigerian. I am an honorable person. I am a child of God. When I speak for the people. When I speak the truth, not minding whose horse is God. When I speak because I am pained as one who has blood flowing through his veins and not kerosene. I speak as one who responds to stimuli. So I'm telling you, my brother, that we have never in this country seen what we are seeing here. If you say policies were being crusaded, being eroded, being discussed, and the similarity of policy statements by Atiku and this particular government, it is not about what you are saying. This government told us that borrowing is killing during Buhari. This particular government at inception said they are not going to borrow because we have overborrowed. But today, as I speak to you, the same government, in fact, Nigeria is a chartered borrowing nation. We have so much borrowed, and I am yet to see what we have seen.
All right,
And as I'm speaking with you, in the next 2-3 budgets, Nigeria will be spending 100% of our revenue on servicing
Senator,
debts.
let me ask you quickly. This ADC, what makes it different? Because I saw a lot of you who are there.
Been in a car accident and want $5,000 for free?
Let me show you how to get 40.
Former PDP, former APC. Why should Nigerians think differently about what you are bringing to the table?
Why Nigerians should think differently is that once there's an altar call in the Church of God, only those who are emotionally affected, only those who have conscience, only those who are ready to leave darkness and move to light, respond to altar calls. So ADC is an altar call. It's a national altar call. And those of us who have conscience, those of us who believe in a new order, those of us who want to see a Nigeria where we will be able to answer questions from our grandchildren, who will ask us in the next, maybe when we are 90 and toothless, that when Nigeria was getting bad, Grandpa, what did you do? We want to be able to say we did A, B, C, and D. Not everybody in ADC.
Yeah.
Understand? It's a saint.
But, Senator, why?
But what I am telling you is that
well,
everybody who moved into ADC is concerned about Nigeria.
Let me ask
is
you.
concerned about
So
hunger.
you think that PDP cannot be an opposition and is not veritable enough to be able to fight or contest the election against the APC and Bola Tinubu?
PDP has been purchased.
By who?
By APC.
Who exactly in APC?
PDP is a parastatal of APC.
Really?
PDP is a department of APC. In fact, they take dates for neck meetings and dates for when to have NWC from the villa.
When they have more than two digits of governors, they control the PDP controls states.
They have governors.
They are leading opposition in the National Assembly.
Just look at the number of governors in PDP today. Are these governors acting like opposition governors? It's a question I'm putting up to you. You know the role of an opposition, and you know how powerful Nigerian governors are. Are they playing opposition role as governors? And those who are remaining in PDP are holding forth for APC.
PDP is saying that they will fight and rebuild the party. The likes of Professor Jerry Ghana, the likes of Babangida Aliyu, the likes of Bukola Saraki, the likes of
with due respect,
Seyi Makinde,
with
all
due
of them.
respect to my uncle Babangida Aliyu, you heard him just 2 days ago saying that on Arise, he said, if we can tolerate Buhari for 8 years, then we should tolerate Tinubu for another 4 years. Is that the voice of an opposition person? Is that a statement coming from somebody who is not a member of APC? So what I'm telling you in essence is that we live in precarious times. We live in times of vicissitude and vacillation. We live in times when the devil determines the next menu for his children. And what we are seeing, if not abated, my brother, there will be Benge in this country.
Senator, tell us, in all of what is going on in Nigeria today, and I look at your state, are you still hoping that you will contest for governor in Kogi State?
Like I said, when you asked me if I will support Atiku's presidency, we personally, I am not talking about contesting anything for now.
No
What we
ambition
need
for governor?
As I speak to you now, that is not my primary preoccupation.
But what about the issue of...
What is important to me, to you, to every Nigerian outside there, to the Mekose, to the Megoro, to the Baduku, to the farmer, to the Pamwan Tapa in Umuleri, what is important now is for us to build a platform to rescue Nigeria from APC.
What are those who are saying that it's going to be a tough call?
It is not going to
be able to defeat.
It is not going to be.
There are
85% of Nigerians that are hungry. So it is Nigerians versus APC. Tell any northerner today, all these people shouting to APC and Tinubu. They should brand a car APC and drive it. Drive the car from Kaduna to Kano. Branded. And then come back. I've advised a lot of my friends who are in APC, because I have a lot of good friends in APC, and I've advised them recently that before head helmets, before it becomes expensive, they should go and buy. Because what we saw in Gombe and what we saw in Kaduna, Nigerians are angry. Ojo Kutamaro, do say there will be
Senator,
a lot of crisis,
Senator,
because hungry people are angry people.
Would you say that it would be fair that the presidency should go to the South in 2027?
My brother, I am not here to preach South or North. I'm here to build. My brother, there's a popular Yoruba proverb. Now, your roof cannot be on fire. Understand? And you say you are snoring. That is disastrous. What we are praying for now is to have a platform that will help us to reorganize this country, that will help us to accompany Bola Ahmed Tinubu and all the present occupants of the villa, including those staying in the boys' quarters, to leave.
Senator.
Because that is the only solution to the national calamity we are going through.
A lot of people know you as a senator.
First, we offer overnight boarding. Your pet will stay overnight in your sitter's home and not only be treated like part of the family, but treated like a...
Now as a lawyer, but there's a part of you that we have not seen much recently. Although I know you are a supporter of a failed football club in England.
I beg your pardon?
Arsenal. You and Bukola Saraki, you are a supporter of Arsenal, and it's shame. I mean, my younger brother too is a supporter of Arsenal. We can take you as IDPs into Chelsea, a Chelsea football club.
Number two,
leave that story.
Chelsea was number one on the table.
We all qualified for Champions League, but let's leave
that. And you are not a spare part dealer. I'm surprised you are supporting Chelsea.
But what we have not seen much is
you have a family member who imports electronics.
Your ability to sing. We've not seen that lately.
My brother,
you have an album for what you are going through right now.
You can only speak.
You cannot sing.
You can only sing when the environment is okay, when the country is okay, when there's security. You will be happy and you sing. But when every day you go out, tune your TV, is stories of doom, kidnapping, 100 killed in Maiduguri, 77 killed in Makurdi. Under such situations, what do you want to sing about? The only song we sing now are burial songs. Till we meet again, till we meet. Those are the songs we are singing now. Songs of sorrow, songs of bitterness, songs of darkness. And that is why we are saying that change, genuine, must come.
Senator Dino Melaye, thank you so much indeed. And I wish you and your friend in the ADC the very best.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hello and welcome to Hard Copy from our channel's television studios in Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa. Navigating politics and governance in Nigeria requires a lot of introspection and willpower. If not, leaders will find themselves in a position where they neglect one for the other. And what's the danger in that? Well, you risk truncating your political career if you don't play the game well. And then you stand to risk being a leader that is rejected by the people if all you play is politics. So the wise thing most of the time is to do both. Are our leaders conscious of this? And do the Nigerian people know to hold their leaders accountable for their failures in governance? Or are we easily distracted by mudslinging? Tonight, we examine the leadership debacle in Nigeria and ask if politics is taking preeminence over governance in Nigeria. And if the answer to that question is yes, what can be done? Can politics be manipulated to where it can lead to good governance? Maybe. We'll also be discussing the state of our nation with a man I now call the Oracle. Striking workers and jubilating falcons, coalitions or strange bedfellows, So many books are being written, and the fears that history is being rewritten to preserve preferred legacies. Are there actual historical facts that can counter curated narratives? We got distracted again. What's the update on the Rivers State situation? Is Governor Fubara coming back? And when? The unexplained wealth bill, which has been pending since the 9th Assembly, and why our lawmakers are hesitant. Late former President Muhammadu Buhari's 120 million votes. And 2027, zoning drama, endorsements, the North and the President. Political columnist and public affairs analyst Dr. Majid Dahiru speaks with us shortly tonight on Hard Copy.
Need a new AC and heating system before summer hits the Sacramento area? Right now, get a brand new system.
Dr. Majid Dahiru, welcome again to Hard Copy.
Thank you very much for having me today.
It's good to have you here with us.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about politics and governance. There are people who are speaking about, and in fairness, they refer to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when they have this conversation, saying, oh, the president is an astute politician. But when it comes to governance, it doesn't seem to be delivering on the things that the Nigerian people want. Do you agree with this assertion? And then there's a conversation about, okay, so instead of flogging the dead horse, can we manipulate politics to where it actually now gives the Nigerian people good governance?
I would say we need to maneuver politics away from what it is now to what it ought to be in a democracy. You see, democracy is the best form of government. But because our politics in Nigeria has not been productive enough to enable democracy to yield dividends for the people in form of improved welfare and security. So people are beginning to question the very essence of democracy in the developmental achievements or trajectory of Nigeria. So yes, I agree with a lot of people who believe that our president is an astute politician, and indeed he is. For somebody who grew through the ranks from opposition and found himself on the right of the seat of power, is definitely a good politician. But how about governance? I think governance has to be balanced with politicking. I mean, the base of politicking should be governance. Governance should be at the core of politicking. So all political decisions should be tailored towards improvement in governance. Anything other than that will be negative politicking that continues to, if you like, demarcate or delegitimize democracy and the very concept of electoral democracy, which is now a conversation across the African continent. And for somebody who is quite eager, who is a champion of democracy, I believe he should have made the difference. And I'm talking about President Bola Tinubu, who has a reputation and antecedent of fighting for the instrument of democracy in Nigeria. I had expected him to make that difference when he got the opportunity finally, after seeing it all.
Why do you think he's not? Because that's what you're alluding to, the fact that he's not.
No, he's not, because there's something that
What's stopping him?
There's something he has not done. Nigeria is not where it used to be. I had, admonished all of them that they contested the 2023 election to say, look, whoever wins this election, you have a very tough task ahead of you. And the first thing will be for the president of Nigeria, of course, leading the pack of Nigeria's political establishment, to take the conscious and deliberate step towards committing class suicide. And committing class suicide here simply means it's like becoming a born again. It's like putting or prioritizing national interest over and above personal, sectional, and partisan interest, and uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and pay absolute fidelity to the Constitution. That has not been done so far because the operators of the system currently are still in the mode of the old order, while Nigeria naturally has moved on with time within the confines of the Committee of International Nation States. And so that is the problem we are facing today. So that refusal or that indecision to take deliberate steps towards committing class suicide by the president and, of course, the entire political class in Nigeria is at the very root of our current existential crisis.
Some people are saying that the president, when we talked about politics being, you said maneuvered, I said manipulated. Some people are saying that the maneuvering of politics has led to some kind of development in northern Nigeria. The fear of losing the North come 2027 is making it so for some people is making the president start to move developmental projects towards northern Nigeria. We're seeing jubilation in the north, even in schools for Nel Fund. We're seeing students in schools, celebrating. Bayo Nanuga put up the one for my alumni at Ahmadu Bello University, where some students were celebrating. Is that a success?
Definitely not a success.
Is that the way to get? Because if our hands are tied as a people, if someone is more interested in politics than governance, then aren't we left with that, with harassing you, with losing us until you pander to us?
I think that for me is an elite arrangement from northern Nigeria. You see, what affects the man in Karaboda affects the other man in Enogwa. What affects the man in Birnin Kebbi affects the man in Maiduguri, in Onitsha, and other parts of Nigeria. We are one country, and you can't develop any part of Nigeria along sectional lines. While I do not agree that the president is marginalizing the North in terms of appointments, in terms of patronage, I do not believe so. I believe, for instance, that within the question of identity politics manipulation, as you like to call it, in the Nigerian system, the president is actually beholden to northern Nigeria from the way he appoints people from that part of the country, the way he tries to carry along that part of the country. In fact, the reality is that deploying over 68 of your top aides, led by the SGF, to go and interface with leaders of the North, simply tells you how seriously he takes the northern people in terms of electoral value in this country. However, on the other point about whether is the fear of losing the North, also comes with an entitlement mentality on the part of the northern elite, who are used to power and who have observed over time are always making this attempt to take power from the south whenever Southern is in power. Now, for me, that's another factor. But the real factor here is, if you are strong on your game on delivery of good governance to the people, that in itself will not succeed. But the problem the president is having is, right now, he has not been able to deliver, he has not been able to improve the lives of Nigerians in terms of welfare, and also improve the security of lives and properties in Nigeria across the board. So there is a grand share of opposition, both from the north and the south, against not just the president, but the establishment and the status quo. I had expected the president, having experienced a defeat in his own home state in his bid to become president, to realize that the whatever methodology he deployed to lead Lagos State wasn't working, wasn't acceptable in Lagos, and it's not likely to be acceptable in Nigeria. But again, that consciousness appears not to have been there. I think he's set in his ways, and he's continuously trying to follow a path that he's used to. And that is why he's facing this kind of resistance. Let me tell you this.
Most older men
exactly.
face that
situation. The greatest danger the president faces going to the 2027 election, the greatest risk, is not even in the north, it's only the south.
Without the ones like you working tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. No matter your industry, Grainger's here for you with professional-grade supplies.
Explain that at the time that the president is facing this level of opposition from the north, the ADC coalition, for example, is dominant in the north. Some of his former friends turned foes are the leading lights or the forces behind the ADC coalition. One would have expected that a southern solidarity, a unity across the south, as we witnessed between 1999 and 2007 under the Obasanjo administration, would have been used to actually negotiate a return to power. Because for me as a Nigerian, within this establishment arrangement, I believe that zoning is imperative and that Southern presidency for 8 years between 2023 is sacrosanct. And that if Tinubu is going to be replaced by anybody, should be a Southerner.
Not a Northerner.
Not a Northerner. However, the greatest risk, the greatest danger posed to that sacrosanct Southern presidency that some of us stand on the basis of principle is the president, his supporters, as well as who claim to be supporting him, the diverse activities across the south that does not trigger the tribal war in southern Nigeria between the Igbos and the Yorubas is the greatest danger, the greatest risk
to his presidency are not even opposition from the North, and nobody seems to be talking about that. Buhari's 12 million vote has dissipated, even before he died.
Even before he died?
If you needed to see the level of, I don't want to put it now, mockery and jubilation in some quarters in the Muslim North when the former president died. Because for 8 years, they consider his rule as a waste of time and an investment that did not yield. I'm talking about emotional, material.
It's been curated for us as though he has this cult personality and this cult following.
It dissipated. And that was why he couldn't deliver his own state to his party in the presidential election. So that has dissipated. Somebody else will have to come up and probably captivate the imagination of the region enough to have such following. So anybody that is trying to appeal to a region based on a legacy of somebody who's gone now is not being realistic. And I have told that the president, me and now to politicians, should have done better. For me, within that circle of establishment politicians, the president need now and urgently to do so, carry out efforts across the southern half of this country to have the region of the south behind him in principle. So that if push comes to shove and there's an attempt to take power back by the north by 2027, thereby truncating the turn of the south, on the basis of a north-south dichotomy, the president can have some leverage to negotiate power. But if, for instance, the Southeast decides to say, look, we are being suffocated by our southern brother who is in power now, and try to align with the North, I do not see how our president can be returned. So there is another means of electing a president other than through the ballot.
Is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu going to win the next election in your view?
It depends on a lot of dynamics.
Such as?
For example, if he's able to carry out an overhauling of his policies. For example, I still believe that the policy that has thrown Nigeria into a bottomless pit of economic disorder, economic hopelessness, are the twin policies of subsidy on petrol and the flotation of the naira. If something can be done about these two policies now to restore energy security for the purpose of productivity and social well-being, and if he's willing to actually commit the much declared suicide as we speak now, and people begin to see a change towards a new direction. Because like I said earlier, there comes a time in the life of every nation when the elite will rise up and say, look, through an elite consensus to say, enough is enough. In our own self-enlightened interest, let's begin to do the right thing.
But that's not going to happen.
It is in his own interest for it to happen, really.
In whose interest?
The president. Not to any
so
election. Look, when you have a fringe candidate, I call him fringe like Peter Obi, who claims and who says doesn't give shishi, but is having this level of following, it tells you that Nigerians actually want good governance. And Nigerians are ready to follow any leader that leads by example. It is cheaper for the president to adopt the route of good governance to re-election than relying on structure that is very expensive to maintain and run. That is the class that I'm talking about. Look, it's a matter of taking the plunge. So I do not know, sitting right here, whether or not he will win the election. But a lot of odds are stacked against him because for me, the president is going to the next election with a heavy overburden of incumbency disadvantage arising from underperformance and delivery of good governance for the people of Nigeria in the last years. In fact, he has left Nigerians worse than he made them in 3 years. Something has to be done about that. And that's why the race for 2027 is starting early. So early in the day that people cannot wait to see a change of government. And I'm saying he still has the time. You see, I credit the president with one thing, one quality that I know the president possesses is a deep and fertile mind that he may not always coherently convey, but he has a very deep and fertile mind. Go and read his inaugural speech. Go and read some of his statements. It tells a man that is actually deep-minded and very brilliant for that matter. What we are telling the president is, redirect this potential you have towards a better Nigeria, realizing that the method you have been used to is unlikely going to work. It didn't work for you in the last election. It won't work in the next election.
We do have to go on a break, Dr. Dahir. When we come back, you were talking about the president's speech. There's actually a compilation. I actually read it recently. There's a book that has been compiled of all the president's speeches, and it's something. But we'll talk about that and a whole lot more when we come back from this break. So please, stay with us on Hard Copy. We'll be right back.
Not all meals are created.
Welcome back to Hard Copy here on Channels Television. And if you just tuned in, Dr. Majid Dahiru joins us today, the Oracle. So far, there is no prediction you've made that has failed so far. I said I was going to write a list of things. I think I forgot a list of things in my personal life that we kind of need your help on. But before we get to that, we started our conversation today talking about history. So many books. In fact, last time you were here on Hard Copy, that was what you were talking about, lessons to be learned from IBB's book. For many people, and I do have to confess, myself included, I happened to be alive while he was in government. So there were some things that, I don't know if you understand, there were some things that made you say, oh, wait, no, that's not exactly, that's not how I remember it, you know. And so many people are writing memoirs right now. Are we running a risk of history, Nigeria's history, being rewritten to suit preferred narratives of these autobiographers?
I think if I answer this question, that is a very important one. Why people are free to write their own version of history? Ordinarily, it should have been benchmarked against a standardized version of history that can be deemed official, that can be deemed orthodox, so that each time you read people's personal accounts, you can benchmark it and compare with what the official document says. Unfortunately, that has not been done. And from what I'm advocating, that we need to have an officialized history of events in this country. However, that is posing to impossible because of political interference. As we speak, we don't even have a correct history of the Nigerian Civil War. We don't have a correct history of the events in the First Republic that led to the collapse of the Republic, that resulted into a coup, a counter-coup, the Civil War, the years of Reconstruction. We don't even have an official, acceptable historical narrative to all the tendencies in Nigeria. And that, for me, is a sign of failure of the state. So I think going forward, the Ministry of Information, National Orientation and Culture, the National Orientation Agency must begin to come together and synthesize the various narratives in order to sieve out an official historical record that can be bankable, that can be relied upon by Nigerians and succeeding generations of Nigerians.
This will be difficult because the Minister of Information is an appointee of the President and a member of his party.
Again, it boils down to the issue of committing class suicide. You know what that means? Prioritizing national interests over personal, partisan, religious, and sectional interest. That is, you don't have to like somebody to say the truth about the person. You don't have to love somebody to lie about the person. So simply state it as it is. Because you're not doing it for a political party or for the candidate of a political party. You are doing it for the nation.
But a national library is supposed to be where this repository is located.
It's domiciled.
Yes, it's supposed to be something I can Google.
Like the Smithsonian Institute in the United States of America. Something that you can Google.
We don't have that in Nigeria.
I've been searching for a number of people that are considered as icons of Nigeria. I can't find any official document. I can't find any compendium about so many people that people need to learn about in this country. A lot of our young children today are growing up to think that the only people that are important in Nigeria are politicians.
Oh, yes.
And I'm saying, no, there are people that have contributed to the development of this country through the arts, through sports, through entertainment, through crafts. They are based in action in history. The only reason I know them is because I've lived long enough to witness when they were around. Otherwise, they are lost in history. Something needs to be done about that because the country cannot be without history.
People like to talk about politics.
Because it's an institutional problem now.
So let's go back to politics. The African Democratic Congress. People have said this. Well, I heard the presidential spokesperson, Mr. Daniel Bola, say, well, there's no coalition. A coalition means that a party has joined, has come, and you've come together. These are just a few aggrieved people who have moved from one place. He even said it was just a handful of people who've moved. So what kind of coalition is it? It's just an arrangement of very aggrieved old politicians who are hungry for power that has been taken away from them. Should the ADC, well, do they have a chance with these men and women who have joined their party? Do they have a chance against the APC in 2027, or is it just old people making noise again?
It will depend on a number of factors. On whether ADC is a coalition or not, I think it's just semantics. ADC, as a party now, has described itself as a coalition of individuals coming from
So it's not a coalition of parties, it's a coalition of individuals.
It's a coalition. They didn't say a coalition of parties, it's a coalition. It's a coalition. And even if it's a coalition of parties, it is not the physical structure of those parties that will go and meet together different parties. It is still individuals within those parties. So what you have in the ADC now are people from the PDP, the APC, and some other parties that are coming together to form a party. And one of the things they've achieved for now is what seems to be a slide towards a one-party state, at least within the establishment as a division now, clear division. And the people are saying we want to challenge the president for power. That has created some level of vibrancy within the polity. But how far can they go? Very important question. The same way we are telling those in power today to consider committing class suicide is the same thing we're going to tell those in opposition. Because in a democracy, responsibility on both government and opposition weighs equally. Because if you cannot successfully lead a sanitized opposition movement, you cannot actually lead a sanitized government or a sane government.
What are your thoughts on Atiku?
For me,
because he wants to be president.
It is his right constitutionally, but I think that Southern presidency ordinarily should be sacrosanct. And I would have expected that, given what happened in 2023 that destroyed the PDP, and the PDP right now is in intensive care unit, Atiku Abubakar and any other northerner who feels strongly that the president is not doing well should by now be filing behind a southern replacement for the president.
There's rumors that the PDP is going to zone its presidency to the south.
And that is one of the things that might resuscitate the dead PDP, because it would be a miracle to do that.
Should P2B go back to the PDP?
It depends on what they have in store for him. And one of the miracles that can revive the PDP really is a PDP candidate on that party. But I don't know how they're going to achieve it. I don't know whether the tendencies within the party that seems to have thrown their support ahead of even the election for the incumbent. I don't know how they're going to navigate that very thorny terrain. But one of the miracles that can revive the PDP and bring back to life is not just to zone to the south, but to pick somebody like P2B as his candidate. They would have made an atonement for their mistake in 2023. And whether or not they win the next election, it would have revived the PDP at least back to life.
Let's talk about two more things before we wrap up. In all of the politics and the hula baloo and the up and downs and the endorsements of the president and the coalitions, Mr. Fubar, Governor Fubar.
Governor Fubar, let's just leave it at Governor Fubar.
Kind of slipped through the cracks. Because the last we heard, there was a reconciliation that had happened with Minister Wike.
Yes.
We were all very excited. Oh, that means he's going to come. But when is he coming back? When is this 6 months going to be over?
We don't have the details of the settlement agreement between himself and his estranged godfather. So nobody can really say, even though there are speculations that if he continues to comply with the terms of agreement between when it was actually agreed upon and when the current military, or should I say administrator in Rivers clocks 6 months, probably he might return after the first 6 months. But again, nobody is really sure of what was contained in the settlement agreement. Again, the lesson to be drawn from this for Rivers people, if you want to avert this kind of happenings in your state, do what other states have done in the past to put an end to godfatherism. Anything other than that, we cannot really say that a product of godfatherism was elected by the people because monies were deployed to procure victory for such a person.
And now that you spoke about monies, we'll be ending on that particular topic. The unexplained wealth bill, I don't think you've heard about this, it's been pending. The EFCC chair just brought it to our minds again recently. Yes. It's been pending since the 9th Assembly. What's the holdup? What's holding the legs?
Maybe those that are supposed to pass the bill
can't explain their own wealth. Why? Come on, there has to be somewhere around this. Again, I don't want this to be just something that the EFCC chair talked about and then we all talked about on TV and then he went away.
Go back to the issue of prioritizing national interest over personal interest of today. I mean, you could have unexplained wealth as a parliamentarian, but your children may not. And somebody may have appropriated their own wealth and becomes unexplainable on the other side. So if you have this law in place, in future, all of us will benefit from it. But people are not being futuristic, so nobody wants to probably explain their unexplained wealth. No, it is explained, and that speaks volume about the National Assembly. Otherwise, what is so difficult to pass a law that enables the EFCC to be able to prosecute or at least investigate people that cannot explain the source of their wealth? It should be an enabling law.
It would fight so many crimes. Fraud,
kidnapping,
terrorism, armed robbery, all kinds of crimes.
So the fact that the National Assembly is dilly-dallying over this matter itself is indicative of the characters that congregate in the National Assembly. And it's an indictment on the most important arm of our democracy, which is the legislative arm of government.
Well, Dr. Majid Dahiru, that's a good place to anchor. I want to thank you very much for being with us on Hard Copy, and good luck with all the work here.
I finally got my claim for my car accident. They only offered me $5,000. $5,000?
Man, the guy's always speaking facts.
Well, hello, good evening, and
honestly,
welcome to the program.
The guy is always speaking facts. On this Honorable Dahiru, he's always speaking facts. It's almost like prophetic. That's what they say when you always predict. I mean, is it not easy to predict what will happen in Nigeria? You understand? Is it not easy? It's very easy to predict. I mean, who's looking at all this mess and thinking, oh, wow. I have to say this. You see this whole media summit that APC just concluded. All the supporters have to be ready. In the upcoming days, is going to be highly bigoted content that you're going to be seeing on social media from APC people. They're going in and they're going in hard. I'm wondering, the media angle, the media people on the obedience side, I hope they are saying this. I think there's a meeting coming up on the 3rd, which is Sunday. I'm hoping to be able to make it so I can stream it here as well, where they're going to discuss it. I'm hoping that I get a chance to ask that question, or maybe somebody would ask that question at that meeting. We need to know what their plans are about media. Media is very important. We cannot downplay it. APC did not come to play. We have to be ready, and we have to be ready to match them energy for energy, because these people are not coming to play. Okay, in that media summit, everyone was there, including Balablu. He was there. That's to tell you how serious they take these things. My question is, are we as serious as they are? How bad do we want it? How bad do we want Nigeria to work? How bad do we want to get our country back? Because they are showing you that they want it bad, and they want to hang on to it as much as they can. Earlier on, there was an article that said that they're trying to push for a life presidency for T-Pain. So he's trying to get a lot of the National Assembly people to decamp to APC so he can have the needed number to pass a lifetime presidency. We need to know what we are doing. Everybody needs to be ready. And the obedient angle, those people that are supporting, that are around Obi, media is very important, especially now. If anything comes out of Peter Obi, you can't be slow about it. You have to immediately attack it. You don't wait. These people they have all the tools in their hands. We only have ourselves. So Sunday will determine. I will really know for sure. Perhaps they're paying attention to all of this and they already know what they're going to do. But I just wanted to put that word out because it's very important. I'm observing the way these people are moving. They are not coming. We need to be ready. Can we match them? Absolutely. Can we surpass them? Yes, but we need to be aware. We need to be aware. Already, they've been tweeting out like, you see like the same messages. They've been tweeting out like something like the young people of Nigeria have rejected Peter Obi 2027. A number of social media handles have tweeted that like a number of times. We know that that's not true. We know that's a lie. The reason why they do that and they keep retweeting it and putting it out there is for the algorithm. So the algorithm will pick it up and think, oh, this is what Nigerians think. That's not true. So those are the kinds of things and worse will come out. So we have to prepare ourselves for the worst because it's going to be a media battle. Okay? Media battle and on the ground battle. Anyway, we already know we're at war. Okay? Now, wisdom will say win this war. Sense, wisdom, common sense. We're going to remove our emotions. If I'm talking to myself, as I'm saying this now, I'm using style to talk to myself. You understand? Because small thing now, I don't start to the shout. So I'm talking to myself. Wisdom, common sense. We have to beat them at their game. We are more than they are. We sharp pass as they be. So we need to be prepared. I just wanted to put that out there. You heard what this guy said. Everything he said, I completely agree. Even Dino Melaye. It's nice, to be honest. It's refreshing to hear Dino Melaye. You might not like him. He might not be the best, but at least there's another voice that is Agbero-ish that's coming out to speak and challenge this, government. But hey, it's left to be seen. We'll continue to observe. But the next video I'm going to play is an interview that David Udeni had on Trust News. I think it's Trust TV News, about this whole Ghanaian Nigerian thing that has been going on. I'd like us to hear his take on the matter.
Is Daily Politics on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. Tonight on the program, we turn our attention to recent anti-Nigerian protests in Ghana, sparking renewed concerns about xenophobia and diplomatic strain between two West African neighbors. While Nigeria and Ghana have long shared strong cultural and bilateral ties, the latest tensions echoes the early 1980s or as far back as the late 60s. Remember the Ghana Must Go episode where Nigerian migrants were expelled from Nigeria, an event that left a lasting imprint on both nations? Well, we asked the question, what is driving this new wave of hostility and what does it mean for the broader relations between these two regional powers who have become brothers? Well, join us to provide some insight and some context to this conversation is investigative journalist and author David Hundeyi. David, good evening and thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Never sue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check without having to go to court or pay expensive upfront legal fees. Listen, if you've been in a car accident in the past year, even as a passenger, you could be owed a significant cash payout. While most victims are struggling with insurance companies and lawyers, others are receiving
Do we have David? Hello, good evening, David. Can you hear me? Right. Good evening, and once again, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Now, as you can imagine, social media is going really berserk regarding this particular development. I mean, the past 24 to 48 hours have been toxic to say the least. But then some would say that signposts the love-hate relationship between Nigeria and Ghana. What is your 2 cents about what is actually happening this time around?
This is also happening in the context of a wider push to fracture diplomatic relations across West Africa, which is not being orchestrated by local actors, right? But so he sort of saw an opportunity and he plugged himself into it. So these visuals that you're showing on the screen, this is a sponsored protest. This protest is sponsored by Ghanaian politician Hassan Ayariga. This is well known in Ghana, but for whatever reason, many Nigerians don't seem to realize this. Many Nigerians seem to believe that this is an organic protest and that Ghanaians are protesting against the presence of Nigeria in Ghana. That is categorically not true. What you're looking at is a single politician in Ghana trying to build political notoriety and trying to turn that into a platform for him to gain national relevance. That's his whole thing. Wow. He's not a politician that has any specific ideology or any real ideological positioning. He's just trying to build a following and build relevance. Wow. And he has latched on to what appeared to be a potential trending issue. So again, this happened in the context of a video that went viral recently showing a Nigerian man in Ghana supposedly detailing his plans about building an Igbo kingdom in Ghana. Now, the Ghanaian authorities, specifically the Ghanaian Foreign Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has already come out and said that this video, they did their investigations. They invited this Nigerian fellow. They spoke to him one-on-one. And first of all, he expressed his deep regrets over recording that video. And then also informed them that that video was recorded in the year 2013. So that video is a 12-year-old video that someone deliberately dug out, stripped of all its identifying context, and then presented it in this very misleading way to create a fundamentally false impression that they're a group of Nigerians trying to set up a sovereign ethnic kingdom in another person's country, which is, again, categorically not true.
Wow.
Why don't
also
you
not the year.
Seriously, why don't you own these big apartment buildings?
Wow.
So I guess the wider context surrounding even that is that if you've been following the news across West Africa, this is not just in Ghana and Nigeria, there have been several such events happening within a month of each other that have been intended to fracture diplomatic relations. So in Ghana, for example, you might recall a couple of weeks ago, the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, tweeted that he had a conversation with the Ghanaian president, John Mahama, and he claimed that Ghana had reached an agreement with Ukraine to buy Ukrainian drones and to deploy Ukrainian soldiers on Ghanaian soil to protect Ghana's borders. Knowing fully well that this is going to cause a huge diplomatic storm with Ghana's northern neighbor, Burkina Faso, which, as you well know, is more aligned with Russia. And then, in addition to being aligned with Russia, there's also the problem that the Sahelian alliance has a direct diplomatic dispute with Ukraine. If you recall, last year, the Ukrainians facilitated an attack by Tuareg rebels in Mali, which killed 42 Malian soldiers, and the 3 Sahelian countries submitted a complaint to the UN Security Council and then cut off all diplomatic relations with Ukraine. And then you have the Ukrainian president then going on Twitter and claiming that their immediate northern neighbor has agreed to deploy Ukrainian soldiers on their border. You understand? Only for the Ghanaian authorities to then come out and debunk this and say, look, yes, John Mahama did speak to Zelensky on the phone, but there was no agreement that was reached about any such thing, and Zelensky has basically mischaracterized the conversation he had with Mahama. So it doesn't take a genius to put 2 and 2 together and work out that
Michael.
there's an external interest
Your
at
head
play here, trying to pit different groups trying to pit different West African countries
Very
who are
sad.
Traditionally very close rivals against each other. So, and there has been a sequence of these events. If you recall, very recently, the Ghanaian ambassador to Nigeria had his official residence in Abuja burgled. Also, very recently, a staff of the Ghanaian High Commission in Abuja was brutally tortured and murdered on her way home from work. And for whatever reason, the official story was that this was so-called one chance, and she was just an unfortunate person. However, she wasn't allowed to contact her boss to ask for a ransom payment. So why would a group of one chance people just happen to target this specific unfortunate lady and kill her in the most gruesome manner and get nothing out of it? What is their incentive? So again, it doesn't take 2 and 2 to work out that even without receiving any sort of signed confession from any geopolitical actor at play here, you can clearly see that there's a sequence of events designed to escalate tensions across the sub-region, potentially with view to starting off a war that would drag in both NATO and Russia, and essentially turn West Africa into the latest theater of war.
Big AC companies hate this
My
NASA-engineered portable AC, but there's nothing they can do about it. It's
Right. I mean, we'll double down on that conspiracy theory about the international powers that be that are possibly, according to you, stirring the hornet's nest, as the case is, within what's happening on the ECOWAS region. But talk to me about public sentiment in Ghana. Where is the country on these issues?
Well, public sentiment in Ghana is that Nigerians are seen as pretty much part of the fabric of society. If you recall, the Ghanaian foreign minister actually had an appearance with Nigeria's foreign minister yesterday in Accra, and he stated very plainly that, look, even without taking into account the more recent migrations going both ways from Ghana to Nigeria and from Nigeria to Ghana, even going beyond that, there are entire ethnic groups in Ghana that trace their ancestry to Nigeria. So he mentioned the Ewe people and the Ga people. So, for example, I come from a place in Lagos called Badagry. We are ethnically very close to the Ewes, and the Ewes trace their ancestry to Ile-Ife, so do the Gas. So the point he was making was that we are all essentially one people. So this idea that there's going to be some sort of fundamental fracturing of relations between Nigeria and Ghana is just not a thing. It's not going to happen. And the sentiment on the streets pretty much mirrors that. Most people tend to sort of look at these online escalations as an internet phenomenon. And as I mentioned earlier, it's also very common knowledge that these protests are being sponsored by a specific politician who is trying to build a platform out of Nigeria must go. I should also mention that it's not as if this politician even hates Nigerians necessarily. He's just trying to build a platform out of something that he thinks can be invoked as a trending topic and something which is sufficiently emotive. But on the streets, does the typical Ghanaian carry around that energy inside his head that somehow his problem in life is a Nigerian? Absolutely not. It's just not a thing. In Ghana, xenophobia is not really a thing, with, especially among English-speaking West Africans. It's just not a thing. So some people might be trying very hard to make it a thing, but the general consensus on the streets is that this is ridiculous. This is literally two very close siblings, at worst, having a bit of a back and forth dispute, but it's never going to degenerate the way some people clearly hope that it will.
Right. And talk to me about the situation on ground regarding where this
Michael, I believe you. I believe you,
operating,
man.
Trying to weaponize this anti-Nigerian sentiment, for instance. I mean, the Ghanaian government came out with a strong message guaranteeing protection for non-Ghanaian citizens across the country. What can you tell us about the location where these protests have been recorded and whether there are security concerns about, migrants who are staying in those areas?
So, the actual location of the sole protest that was happening so far was in Accra, in the capital, and again, maybe the visuals people are seeing are not doing a very good job of showing what actually happened, but this was actually a very tiny protest where we're talking fewer than 200 people. And by 200, I might even be overestimating, it might be less than 100 people. So it's a very localized thing. However, as is the case with the campaigns that are clearly being artificially pushed, inorganic campaigns, they have got people to flood social media with these visuals and to create the idea that there's some sort of political movement sweeping through Ghana. That, again, is categorically not the case. It's one tiny place in one district of Accra where you had a few people going out with those placards and billboards, which are obviously paid for by Hassan Ayariga. Some even said so on the placards, support Hassan Ayariga. And that's what happened. So as far as this degenerating in any kind of way into maybe attacks on foreigners or something, first of all, that's not a thing in Ghanaian political culture. It's just not a thing. When it is often said that Ghana is potentially the most stable country in West Africa, that's not something that is said lightly. It's the truth. Ghana is just not a place where political differences are settled using violence or on any kind of large scale. Now, this is not to say that there is no existence of concerns in Ghanaian popular culture about perhaps the behavior of certain foreigners in Ghana, or perhaps the prevalence of certain foreign groups in Ghana, even at the expense of Ghanaians. That certainly is a thing. However, it is not the case that has ever degenerated into large-scale sort of South African-style xenophobic violence. It's not a thing here. So, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on what point of view that you're viewing this issue from, that's just not how Ghanaians deal with the problem. So no, there has been no security, large-scale security disturbance of any description whatsoever. And for now, at least, this remains entirely an internet phenomenon.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, it's his job to keep the power on. That's why he chooses.
Now, wow. You see, the fight is really...
Internet phenomenon. You know how the internet can make, a storm in a teacup look bigger than what it actually is. But we've also seen quite some few clips from ordinary Ghanaians, for instance, who have weighed in on this particular conversation. One of those clips had one man accusing Nigerian traders. He actually went further to name a particular tribe from Nigeria, accusing them of flouting certain laws, right, regarding the way they do business. I mean, that sentiment has been there. That issue has been there over the past couple of decades, hasn't it? Is there a chance that these are still lingering issues that need to be sorted out regarding Nigerians doing business in Ghana, for instance?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Even though one might not necessarily agree with, for example, naming a specific Nigerian ethnic group as offenders, I personally don't agree with that. However, it is also the case, I think it's fair to say that regardless of however welcoming Ghana might be, and the fact that Ghana and Nigeria are both members of the same geopolitical union, ECOWAS, freedom of movement, freedom of trade, and all of that, be that as it may, the purpose of Ghana's government is to look after the well-being of Ghanaian citizens first and foremost. So there definitely should be some form of economic reservation that should be ring-fenced for the locals. As someone who has spent a lot of time in Ghana, I'm very familiar with the situation on the ground in Ghana. I have to say that they're unlike across much of Africa, Ghana is a country which is extremely liberal in an economic sense. And what I mean by that is there are sectors of the economy that foreigners are allowed not just to operate in, but to even own, more or less de facto. There was a time when even the power sector in Ghana, as you can imagine, the power sector is a sector that is critical, central to national security. There was a time when a previous government was in very serious conversations about essentially privatizing the state-owned power company and giving it to a foreign actor, right? Now, in Nigeria, obviously the state-owned power company has been privatized, but very crucially, the privatization was done locally. So the power sector is still in the hands of Nigerians and by extension, the Nigerian state, which I think is fair. But Ghana allows things to go to almost to an extreme where, in the name of being peaceful and stable
really,
and
Kene?
liberal,
Where is that video? Everyone, is it on the Twitter?
There are certain aspects of its economy which it does not ring-fence, perhaps as much as it
somebody
should.
was saying,
and that's what causes
like the man
tensions like this, because
so
over
many
time,
businesses there,
you then have a situation
and he has
where
provided
the economy is
employment
becoming
to so
a
many
two-tier economy
Ghanaians.
where the locals, for a very large part, don't participate in the economy to the extent to which many foreigners do. So if you go to Accra, for example, and some parts of maybe Kumasi and Cape Coast, you will see a lot of visual prosperity, right? You will see a lot of construction, you will see lovely buildings, you see businesses, you see lots and lots of foreigners, and it might look like this is a booming economy. But if you spend a bit of time there, you realize that within this booming economy, the locals, the actual Ghanaian citizens, are not really taking.
Need a new AC and heating system before summer hits the
Okay, I
Sacramento
got
area?
the video.
Right
Kene,
now,
don't
get a
worry.
brand new
I got the video.
Owning those buildings, you're not the ones running those businesses. At best, they just have jobs there. And there is nowhere on the planet that this will happen that it will not cause resentment, where the locals start to feel as if they're experiencing some form of economic apartheid. That it almost starts to feel as if, why does everyone else get to come to my country and make it in my country except me? Right? Now, we might not have such an experience in Nigeria because Nigeria is not, first of all, there are so many of us in Nigeria that we're not necessarily even aware of the fact that there's a world outside. We're very sort of self-absorbed. And also Nigeria is not a net recipient of immigration in the way that Ghana is. However, I can tell you that it is very much an issue, and it will continue to be an issue, even more so going forward, as foreign investment continues to pour into the country. So I do think that it is a concern that should be addressed. I don't think it's a xenophobic thing to say from a Ghanaian point of view that there should be parts of the Ghanaian economy that should be ring-fenced for Ghanaians alone to participate in. I feel like, for example, where you are dealing with things like, as the gentleman in the video was referring to, he was specifically referring to retail, like last mile retail. I don't think there's any reason why the locals who are born there, who have lived there for generations, for centuries, why they shouldn't be the ones in charge of that sector of the economy, for example. I'm not sure there's any reason why it has to be a Nigerian or a Lebanese or a Chinese person or whoever who has to come and take over that part of the economy. If it's a part of the economy that requires some technical capacity or skill that is not available locally, I can completely understand that. But if it's buying and selling, if it's trading, there's no reason why, foreigners should dominate that part of the economy. So I completely understand that. I think it's a fair comment to make. What I don't agree with is then ethnicizing it and saying, oh, it's this particular ethnic group that is doing this, because that doesn't end well. Then that always leads to a bad place. So I hope the authorities crack down on that sentiment was expressed. However, the underlying economic sentiment behind it, I think it's fair to say it's very real and it's not going away and it needs to be addressed.
And David, what do you say to people who say, looking back at our love-hate relationship, there is some concern there, and what if this resentment, for instance, that you're talking about leads, parliamentarians to begin to, look in the way of, say, for instance, the Ghana Alien Compliance Order of 1969, for instance, to consider certain mitigative, policies that could check the operations of non-Ghanaians in the country and the likes. Do you think that this resentment could push the conversation in that direction?
If it's not dealt with the right way, then yes, it can. And when I say dealt with, I don't mean by the government stepping in and flogging everybody with a cane for saying what's on their mind. No, what I mean by dealt with is there needs to be a dialogue that needs to be had between the Ghanaian people and the government regarding the dominance of foreigners in certain sectors of Ghana's economy. I think it's fair. Even from a national security point of view, I think the state has the right to have such a conversation. If that isn't done and that isn't dealt with, then regardless of how peaceful and how politically mature Ghanaians traditionally are, Ghanaians are still human beings. And historically, I think there's plenty of precedent to show that when such concerns are not addressed, eventually it always leads to a bad place. So I really hope that doesn't happen, not just for Nigeria's sake or even for Ghana's sake, but for the sake of West Africa, because Ghana is essentially the country holding West Africa's stability together.
Exactly.
Which I guess a lot of us don't realize. Mm-hmm. Ghana is located at the physical and metaphorical center of West Africa. It's the junction point between the part of West Africa that is Eastern aligned and the part of West Africa that is unofficially Western aligned, though it claims to be non-aligned. It's the junction between Anglophone West Africa and Francophone West Africa. It's viewed as the spiritual center of West Africa since it was the first country to gain independence on the entire continent. So if Ghana were to lose that stability and were to fall into chaos, even though all of us would be in for a whole world of trouble. So I really hope it doesn't go there. I hope these concerns are addressed before it ever gets to that point.
Here's what insurance companies don't want you to
know.
Well
said, David.
They have an
well
AI
said.
that calculates the lowest possible.
Right. Obviously, worst case scenario. But David, let's zoom out a little bit, right? Give me big picture analysis on the international invisible hands that are, perhaps engineering this whole tension that we're talking about. I mean, I get the point that you were making earlier about how Ghana is really crucial to, keeping the ECOWAS region pretty much intact. I mean, we saw the body language of the likes of Traore, for instance, during the inauguration of President Mahama. So there is a very good chance that, that kind of relationship can be leveraged to, further communicate with the alliance, right? But talk to me about big picture. How concerned should we be about those international players who apparently are motivated in terms of destabilizing the region?
So I guess to answer this question, we need some more context. So in addition to those incidents that I mentioned involving Ghana, Burkina Faso, and Nigeria, I should also mention that Cote d'Ivoire and Benin are also players on the board here, and Mali. So if some weeks ago, I forget the exact date, a minister of parliament from Mali, someone that's what we will call a senator in Nigeria. So an MP from Mali traveled to Cote d'Ivoire for a funeral, a family funeral, and was arrested in Cote d'Ivoire and was imprisoned and remains in prison. So you can imagine a Nigerian senator flies, let's say, to Ghana and is arrested and then is jailed. And why was he jailed? He was jailed apparently because he made a comment about Alassane Ouattara, the Ivorian head of state. So he was essentially considered to be an enemy of the Ivorian state because he criticized Ouattara. Even though he's supposed to have diplomatic immunity, that was violated. And he was jailed and he remains in jail. So when we are at the point where countries are violating the principle of diplomatic immunity, then we should know that it's not as if this country is being led by a madman and this country is just doing unconscionable things. It is that there is a bigger hand behind this country that is pushing them to do these things, and they feel they can get away with it because they have protection. And it's not just violation of diplomatic immunity. Violation of the law of refoulement, for example. There's a very well-known journalist from Benin who has been under asylum protection in Togo, and he received an invitation from the Ivorian government to attend an event in Abidjan sponsored by the Ivorian Ministry of Information. So he attended the event. He went there. They paid for his ticket. He went there, and they arrested him and put him on a private jet and took him to Benin, where he was running away from as a refugee. That is a very serious international crime. It's a violation of the law of refoulement. And Cote d'Ivoire did that.
Hey Sacramento, Vazgen here, CEO of Kobe.
And then more recently, a very well-known journalist from Burkina Faso who wrote under the pseudonym Alino Faso. He had family in Cote d'Ivoire whom he went to visit. He was arrested a few weeks ago, and I think 3 days ago, the story then emerged that he has been found dead in his cell. And the Ivorian authorities then claimed that it was a suicide. And it has triggered a very, very furious reaction from the government in Burkina Faso. They've actually put out an official statement accusing the Ivorian government of committing murder and of attempting to cover it up. So you can clearly see that there are players on the board in West Africa that are carrying out actions that if you didn't know any better, you would say this makes absolutely no sense. Why would Cote d'Ivoire be making enemies out of its neighbors at the same time? Why is Cote d'Ivoire making enemies out of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Togo potentially at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Why is Ghana potentially being set up to make enemies with Burkina Faso, even though they share 600 kilometers of border with each other, and historically they're very close allies? Ghana is Burkina Faso's de facto port. Why would Ghana and Nigeria, who are like the two closest allies in the region, be having this diplomatic friction between them? So once you zoom out and you look at all these separate things happening at the same time, then it doesn't take a genius to work out that it's not as if after 50 plus years of coexisting without much drama, all of a sudden, West Africa just decided to lose its mind collectively and start doing things that don't make sense. No, that's not what's happening. There's an external hand involved here that is carefully staging events to create the pretext for diplomatic fracturing.
Yep.
Because once you are fractured, then you become vulnerable.
Yep.
And the one thing that keeps ECOWAS, the one thing that keeps West Africa stable, even after the exit of the AES countries, the AES alliance, is that generally speaking, we're aligned with each other. We're in a geopolitical sense, we're united. right? It hasn't happened, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the entire history of West Africa, it hasn't happened that one country has taken up arms against another country in the same bloc. It hasn't happened.
No, and it should never happen.
Which is rare, because if you check pretty much almost every other geopolitical union in the world, such a thing has happened. So in East Africa, Tanzania has taken up arms against Uganda before. In Central Africa, things like that have happened. But in West Africa, which is like the most populated regional continent, that hasn't happened. You know, and I think it's to our credit as West Africans, one of the little bits of credit that we deserve, that we've managed to maintain peace internationally with each other for this long. But now you can clearly see that someone is trying to fracture that peace and potentially open a new front in the Russia versus Ukraine/NATO war, which may be winding down in Europe now. If you've seen the news, Trump has announced that they've set August 8th as the date for the ceasefire, final ceasefire. So probably someone is trying to transplant that war from Eastern Europe to West Africa, where they will have free hand to do whatever they want. Nobody's going to care what happens, because the people involved are not white Europeans. We're expendable in their eyes. They can test all their new weapons here and whatever. And then at the same time, that would also assist the EU members who have an interest in getting the Sahelian alliance back into their fold. So be that the case, whatever the case may be, we still have the agency to decide whether we want to be used against ourselves or not. And thankfully, I have to say, based on the reaction from the Nigerian government and the Ghanaian government in particular, it's clear that this war either it's not going to happen or somebody's going to have to try a whole lot harder to make it happen. So I guess it's to our credit.
Best case scenario, David, we know the banter on social media is never going to stop, whether it's about jollof rice or the fact that the Super Falcons just won the AFCON. I bet a lot of Ghanaians are not happy about that one. But it's something that, of course, is a part of our history. David, fantastic analysis as always. Thank you so much for joining us on Daily Politics. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Una here, so that you guys don't get you here. You see how strategically these people are playing. We need to get wiser, man. These people they won't finger our brain. They won't cause chaos so that we go they fight, you know, go end. That's what they are anticipating. And we not go give out to them. Because we're smarter now. And we need to get more and more smart, and we need to educate our people too. Because that was exactly what David said is exactly what I suspected from the get-go. I was like, nah, I'm not even going to talk about this. I'm not even going to mention it. Nothing. I'm not going to do that. Okay. Let me play the video that Kene was talking about. Yep. Let's listen to this.
I made a video concerning the Igbo king. Now, I spoke on a couple of reasons why it's going to be very hard for this country to get rid of him. People didn't understand, but today I'm coming out with different facts to make you understand. It's going to be very hard to get rid of him. He is the CEO of Chibet Group of Companies. Chibet Group of Companies. CEO NSI Igbo King. That's Igbo King. He is the CEO of Chibet Group of Companies. I'm going to list all the companies under Chibet Group of Companies. Now, how he has actually contributed to this economy, the number of people he has employed, the number of companies he supplied to, the number of institutions that depends on him to work, to run smoothly. Hey! Number one, Chibet Limited. That's general trading. They do goods, import and export, or distribution of goods and various supply domestic, stuff. What's I say? In domestic markets and neighboring countries, okay, now we'll come to Chibet Transport Limited. Omuye freight, shipping, Omuye luggage transport, right? Omuye imports and exports of essential goods. Instance, why do you say, they are just here and they are doing nothing? I'm sorry, they are doing something. Let's go to the next one. Chibet Mother Care Limited. Okay, Omuye baby and mama products. Omu 21 diapers, wipes, shampoo, lotions. Omu retail. They supply to Ghana Health Service. They supply to Ghana Health Service.
I heard that one. Actually.
Currently,
but they supply to the health service.
They do those
depends on them.
Ghana. Ghana depends on them to run smoothly. Listen to me very well. I'm trying to make you understand. Senior, it's a different thing altogether. Chibet Farms, they operate in farming and agro production. They supply crops, livestock for food and commercial uses in Ghana. Ghana. Chibet Aluminium. Manufacture roofing, frames and the construction supplies. You see, sometimes it's not just about Kasana Keke. No, you should also look beyond Kasana to see what exactly this person provides. And that's why he has shielded himself very well with the connections he has and all that things are going on the way they want it to go on. And then there's all the view. When a problem comes, the put blames on people. And also that's all the problem there. Let's continue. West Coast Entertainment, Ome Events Planet, Production, and then also Kachibet group of companies now. Spark West Telecommunication Infrastructures. They work with MTN, Telecel, Airtel Tigo. You don't know, you have no idea. You're just going about it and making noise. That's what's going on right now. So aside all of the things that we have said and all the fear that we have gathered into our thoughts now, the real thing is going beyond that, behind that. How do you think it's going to be possible for him to be able to get to the president and take pictures with them, big dignitaries? You think they are not making any impact in Ghana? He has employed lots of people. She bets oil and gas. West Africa.
Wow.
Energy. They do oil and gas. Almost supply oil and gas. Or Ghana, petroleum, and different places. They are like Shell. They are like Total. They are like those people.
No, na driver now. May call Nigeria. May call help. No, may not call yet.
Coastal Transport.
Tinubu go destroy all in business.
That is also based in Nigeria. Another day on Nigeria. Ivory Vision College. Omo run education service in Ghana and outside Ghana.
Wow.
Into with all of these things, it should make you understand, say, getting that particular man to leave the country, say, it's very tough because he's well shielded. He has shields around him. He has shielded himself with dignitaries, big people. If it is easy, have you ever realized, say, in the history of America, a president is going head-to-head banter with a private person? Currently, Elon Musk, on his assassination Donald Trump. You saw what was going on. It's not that easy. So Emra and Donald Trump, I'm a deporting and collapse in the business. But if you do the demonstration that is going to come out from government institutions onto the presidency, a very wild. So people are not looking at these things. They are looking lesser than that. But beyond that, there are a bunch of things that we have to consider. And yeah, easy, sir. And yes, what's in the money too. Because just like I've said already. But and also just say we can't make things happen. That's dependent on the government. But so what to say, some people have started releasing communica. Formalities. I'm trying to make you understand. So formalities. Power is in the hands of the people. African Kamo. That's one thing I want you to understand. Power is in the hands of the people. Apart from election, IBS is as a franchise. Africa is not part of it. After elections, everything depends solely on the government. That's why I'm trying to remind you, end SARS demonstration in Nigeria. The government ordered the military to come stand on the bridge and then open fire on the people. It comes celebrities in Nigeria and Che. Finance bill protest in Kenya. Look at the number of people that died. Ghana, I'm reminding you. Jilobi, look at the people that were arrested. You see, it tells you, say, it is all about intimidation. In Africa, when you start to think that the power is in your hand, you're going to be intimidated, and it won't end well for you. And so I don't treat anybody say, whatever thing we are doing, we should do it with much sense. If we have a demonstration to do, let's do it. We hope, say, we're going to be heard. But until then, I need you guys to understand a couple of factors that are at play right now that it's going to be very hard for this particular person to lead this country. And Susubax, have a nice day.
Well said. Omo. Now this kind of person they want to come off for Ghana. Oh yeah now. If you say Nigeria na better country, hey, Lord have mercy. Now this one, people go they do endless lives for TikTok. They talk say they want to come out. Can you imagine you went to dig up somebody's video of over 10 years ago just because you want to cause chaos? Just because you want to cause chaos, you go and dig it up. No. Evil get level. I've seen evil. Nigerians with evil, I don't see. Hey, Omo. It's really crazy. It's wild. How successful the man is. So the government, Ghanaian government, they depend on another one. You now want to make their drive. How do people want them to chase him away? How? Hey. People, you know how many mouths the man they feed? How many families they feed? Because of finance, some people don't build their own house. Some people feel send their children go better school because of that one man. Nigerians think land is to build house, become landlord and oppress tenants. It's true, Shao, Michael, it's true you said though. I'm fine, but they don't realize or understand that Ukraine is causing wahala on our lands because of that land on behalf of NATO. Yep. Same thing that happened during the so-called World Wars. Why would Ukraine be fighting Russia but take that war to Sudan? Can you imagine? Mali, Burkina Faso, etc. My Nigerian people go say, we no get anything. I'm telling you, they try to complete their wars on the soil of Africa. That's what, Sudan right now. Sudan, actually, they've reached another level of starvation in Sudan. You guys are aware? It's so sad. And this movie, Avatar, is based on a culture in Sudan. Did any of the Sudanese people benefit from the movie? Gross? No. Make I focus for Nigeria, because when person get plenty problem, you go fair focus on the one you get for house, solve that one, then you go know as you go take move forward. Ha! Now wow. Anyway, on to the next. I got another video to show to play for now.
Watching this clip could save you thousands.
I bet my hear word. So nothing they do. I hear word.
To the Nigeria's opposition politics and
Tracy, my darling. Oh, Tracy, thank you for your support. Oh, Tracy, thank you. I really appreciate. I really appreciate for the support. Oh, I'm so grateful. Where the hug? Where the all the emojis when they this word? Thank you so much, Tracy. I really appreciate. I really appreciate your support. Mona, God go bless you, my sister. Thank you so much. Ghana has reason to dislike Nigeria now. We were stupid enough to kick them out of Nigeria and affect. No, but they did it to us first, Kenny. They kicked us out first. So when Nigeria did it, it was in retaliation. Do you understand? So they did it to us first, apparently, and then Ghana did it. And then Nigerians did it. So it wasn't not be us start that one. Yeah, I mean, there's reason to not like us very much because we're loud. We're very loud. And when we have money, we want to show off. Nigerians are show off now 5 and 6. You understand? They go, they brag, they boast. Do you know who I am? You know that mindset when Nigerians get. You go somewhere, you want to act. Then all of you now go and be friending, go and be dating all their women and be pampering the women. And the women will be falling in love with you. And the only thing they can think about is Nigerian men. Why would they not hate on you people? Why would they not hate on you people? Kene? When you people will go and be bragging, when you people will be walking, you'll be walking with this thing majestically, as if you own everywhere. Why would there not be peace? You people are taking their women. Think about it, and you are spoiling them. You are giving them money. You people have a lot of you people. Your shoulder now they put shoulder pad they waka. Why would they not like? Why would they not hate on you people? Yeah, it did happen. AB, it did happen. Not be apparently. You're right. It did happen. They were the ones. They kicked us out first, and then Nigerians now retaliated. That's what happened there. So, we are a much bigger country. Big Brother should not be acting insecure. Can you Nigerians do not to do? Can you people call yourselves out for once? Una to do. Thank God for saying minds that decided to take care of this issue. Una own too much. Una go enter people country and always be respect to yourselves. Una want to show off. Una push shoulder part for shoulder the waka. I'm Nigerian. Yeah. They talk. They match leg for ground like say every. I mean, people will get upset. You know, we get different culture. Get some culture when we say all those things is offensive to them because their culture is different. When I know they know how to put leg. Let's say when chicken fair enter new environment, you go fair put one leg down to see whether the leg go balance well, to observe the surrounding before you put the other leg. No, not be Nigerians. No, when I know they do that one. Once when I enter like this, when I go they break down doors, when I go they blow everywhere up. Pa, una don dey do business. Pa, una don dey employ. Pa, una don dey carry all the women. They spoil them with money. There are men when they also they make 9 to 5 money now. When they will come they talk to their women, the women say no. Are you Nigerian? They say no, I'm not interested. I only date Nigerians. How do you expect them to feel, Kene? You think about it. How do you expect them to feel? You understand? You people should also be more not take it easy too. More not take it easy. Everything not be grag. You people want to show off. Now, na fair get money for this world. I don't understand. You people want to show off. Money is water. Money is water. Why will they not be angry with you people? Why will they not? Yeah? Yes, now. Of course, you never hear the podcast when they talk. When they talk saying Nigerian men, they are taking their women. You never hear Akene. You want to pretend like you've never heard. You people come for their women. And you people spoil the women for the men. Women know they reach their hand, they get, you don't know. Yeah? Even very soon, Kenyans go soon. Kenyan men they beef una if they never start to the beef una. Sote. Una go they marry their president daughters. Sote the president had to say, now wow, Kenyan men, what's up? Even for here for America, one of the Nigerian men, he still marry Kamala niece. Now he marry na Nigerian guy. Come on now. Una to do baba riegbe over top. Una dey small. Now that they do, even if una get una act like so una no get for once in your lives. Everything is not about braggy. You people brag too much. Hey, Madam Luke, welcome. Oh, greetings, ma. Good to see you. Thank you. Talk to me when Leopard loses his spot. This is the problem. These are the issues. Look at what you are saying now. We are who we are. Okay. And they talk now. Now they say we are who we are. When another one go come again, Ghanaians never stop to even this one when they talk now their own. Ghanaians are still doing TikTok and very upset with you people. I just don't want to play one video that somebody came, a Ghanaian, and say all kinds of things. I don't want to spoil the mood. You people should behave yourselves wherever you are. Learn to behave. Everything is not show off. What are you showing off for? Look at your house. Your country is smelling. You are showing off. I don't understand. We're not supposed to they brag. We have GDP. That's what you have, that level of bragging. HDI is on 100%. GDP, oh my God, cannot be compared. That's what people should be bragging about. Not be all this small money one that they get. Maybe say when una reach Oyibo country now, if una to do, they go bring una, they go knock una down a notch because they don't want make una pass them. Nigeria may don't cause plenty wahala for different African countries and overseas when exactly. Even you bam, I never even talk and finish. Thank God, Michael don't take a come up for my mouth. Ugandan women, the men don't they complain. Ugandan women and Nigerian women that they follow now. Even Nigerian women, if one woman do video for Canada, I say Canada women waiting. They say that they take out the Nigerian men. And you people want people to be happy with you people. I don't understand though. Even Kenyan women, Ugandan women, they are not even. I saw a few TikToks of some ladies. They advertise themselves for Nigerian men. Full on advertisement. Oh, we are very good with cooking. We are very this. I say, hey, I say, Remy. Hey, Okoko Bioko. I'm telling you. So, more not take it easy. You know, the Ugandan women, they don't come out. They say that because they're very respectful. The Nigerian men, they choose them. I say, wow. Nigerian men head go dey big for where they dey, so they don't they disrespect their men now because of the few Nigerian men. Exactly. AB say we no enslave anybody, not only our voice loud. People we go enslave other races and put them in chains. It's called self-belief. Well, yeah, you have a point there, right? You have a point there. That's true. I mean, it makes sense, you know. People when they cause the real problem for them, now they see them drag. Now only their fellow Africans. I hear you, AB. Common trend is all these countries, their women get big bakasi. Oh my God, that's what you people Nigerian men like now. Michael, wetin do your leg? Wetin happen? You fall? Kene, you and Uganda babes na 5 and 6. You've been casted, Kene. AB say you are sounding like, are you serious? I beg, how am I sounding like that? I beg. You jump first, go watch. Oh my goodness, Kene, you're not serious. Kene say, Michael say, can they say that you jump first, go do a way match? Tracy, Nigerian men, yeah, that's why they're hooked now. That's why you can understand why the men, if they don't make as much money as these Nigerian men, you can understand why they feel a type of way. You can understand it. I mean, South African men, for instance, they don't like the fact that Nigerian men are taking over their women. Do you understand? So, I mean, they are human beings now. Bakassi Peninsula, I'm telling you. Not sure where Tracy got the statistics from. You know, Kenny, you know. Ebi, I not follow na argue. I just say make una take it easy. Mo na enjoy, wetin concern me. Mo na enjoy, but mo na just use wisdom. That's all. You guys should be, I know the eye when they say they look una. You know, una not say not be today, not be that they beef Nigerians. Una know. Do you understand? So for that, you should be conscious of that and be mindful in your approach. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't be who you are. Be who you are. Be proud of who you are. Absolutely, right? But be conscious of how people feel about you as well. And they tell you, say, make you no follow my footsteps because, she they drop do all around this channel and my bank account never go back up. That's 36 we go chop. Help me ask Tracy, help me ask Kene. Kene, na statistics we go chop. You say Tracy not get the statistics. You don't know where I get them from. She got it from a madman. How about that, Kene? She got it from a madman. Oh my God, let's take a quick listen to this video.
Well, my next guest tonight on the program is the spokesperson of the opposition coalition. He's Bolaji Abdullahi, and as African Democratic Congress spokesperson and the wider opposition coalition. As we unpack the big questions shaping the political conversation today in the country, from the government's performance so far, issues of the economy, and to the persistent growing of an average person in the parity of the naira to the dollar, 1,500 and above, security challenges to the internal reorganization of the ADC. Let's speak with Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, who is live for us in our studio here. Thanks so much indeed for joining us tonight. Thank you very much. You heard what the spokesperson to the president said. It does look like everything is perfect in the country.
I had him. I had him.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to...
And I feel sorry for President Tinubu. Because if this is the kind of narrative that he gets to hear all the time, then it's natural that it's obvious that he lives in a bubble. And
in the echo chambers of what they are telling themselves. The gentleman who just left here now was painting a picture of El Dorado, of a country. At a point I began to ask myself, maybe I'm in a kind of suspended animation. I'm no longer in Nigeria. I mean, she was talking about insecurity being degraded. There are 6 law students that are still missing.
Exactly.
Imagine the parents of these children who are just going to school, abducted, and kidnappers have the nerve to actually be demanding 120 million to free these children. These children are still in captivity up till I speak. And someone sits here and tells us that insecurity is being degraded. I actually think that President Tinubu needs to leave the villa and go on the streets and talk to people and stop listening to this kind of narrative and stop listening to state governors who are just saying what they think they need to say to endear themselves to power rather than tell him the true feelings of the people.
So, in all what has been said, and the performance of this government, they said, look, they've delivered on this, they've delivered on that, but you in the opposition, they say you see the cup half empty. How about they are seeing it as half full? We are over the 2-year mark of this government. How do you see it? Half empty or half full?
The problem is not even whether it's half empty or half full. The problem is, what does the cup contain? What does the cup contain? Because when you are looking at the parameters, the analogy of half full, half empty, you are saying, oh, they are making efforts. No doubt.
Are they making efforts?
Look, a man that will break into somebody's house to steal his things, an armed robber, will make efforts. Everybody will make efforts. The Yahoo boys doing things, they make efforts. So the point I'm making is that it's not about the effort. It's about the consequences of your action. Whatever you think you are doing, how does it affect a citizen whose reason for voting for you presumably is to improve the quality of his life or to improve the quality of our life? So, Malam, do you know how many businesses have collapsed, even as we speak, by people who they have not done anything wrong?
So, Malam Abdullahi, I'm moved to ask you, and I put Nigeria as a proverbial vehicle, being driven by President Bola Tinubu.
Yeah.
And for a moment, it's as though you have your driver tells you, look, I don't know where we're going to. All my eyes, suddenly my eyes are itching me, and I cannot see the road any longer. You know, you are in danger.
You are in trouble.
But even when the driver does not know the road, and I've driven vehicles at some point on the express, and I've seen a failed brake. But I didn't panic the people in the vehicle. And as soon as I parked the vehicle, they were asking me what exactly went wrong. And I said, look, we had a brake failure about 10 minutes ago. But just looking for the right place to park the vehicle. They said, really, is that what happened? Now, as a proverbial driver, driving the nation, the vehicle of our nation, do you, for a moment, think that we are in the good hands of someone driving this country?
Sometimes you have a feeling that there are voices whispering to the president.
Is he a good driver? And who has passengers who are whispering back to him?
The question of whether he's a good driver or not will depend on the consequences of his actions or inactions.
You've been in cabinet before. Yes. The trajectory we are going as a people, does it look like a destination that we dream of?
I don't think so.
I don't think so because
so President Bola Tinubu is a bad guy.
Let me tell you.
Why are you putting words in his mouth, Sheung? Hey, these people, it's almost like they just bring them so that they can put words in people's mouths. God damn.
2 years after, United States, United Kingdom are giving tribal advisory about our country that they could have given 2 years ago. So what it means is that whatever you are doing has not worked. Whatever you are doing to secure the lives of the people has not worked. So at what point in a lifetime of an administration that is supposed to last for 4 years do we begin to see the results of what you are doing? You told us that if you devalue the naira, if you remove subsidy, then you have more revenue. You have more money to share, which is what is going to the states, and they say they are having more money. Now the question is, more money going to the government, more money going to the states. But how does that impact on the life of the ordinary Nigerian? The kind of people who are begging for money to feed their family today are people who will probably not have, proud people who would probably not have contemplated.
Maybe we're going through the rough patch and we're perhaps going to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Now, it is a duty of the government to tell us when we will begin to see that light. If after 2 years, you are still telling us where we are today, and you are telling us, I saw something yesterday. Again, it's a statement released by some United States agency saying that while the government is telling Nigerian people to sacrifice, to suffer, government people are living in obscene opulence. We all see this. We don't need foreigners to tell us. So if you tell us that the reason we need to suffer is because we expect some reward at the end of our suffering, then tell us when the suffering will begin to end. Then show us that you are with us, that you are also suffering with us. But you cannot be living lavishly, buying new jets, buying yachts, building, renovating your villas, living like some desert sheikhs, and telling your people that, oh, please, don't worry, you will begin to see results. Don't worry, you will need to just suffer.
But hasn't there been improvement? You saw what the NSA said.
Yeah.
You saw what the governor of Kaduna says. Governor of Kaduna says the reason why no governor can challenge President Tinubu is because they're getting more money and the states are faring better than any other time. And the NSA said, look, the security under this government is way better than what we saw in the last 2 years before this government came into power.
I just give you an example of the children that were kidnapped going to law school. I'm from Kwara State. Banditries was a story that we used to hear happen in other places. Now you cannot go to a part of Kwara State. Now, as I speak to you, you cannot go to Patigi. There are other parts of Kwara North you cannot go to because bandits have taken over. There are some parts of this country where bandits and people, these are people's lived experience. That's why I said I'm surprised.
So you're saying that their reports are not correct?
Oh, absolutely not. It does not reflect the reality of the people who live in fear. A father whose daughter will be handed to bandits so that they will not come and kill the entire family.
Are you in the opposition, Malam Abdullahi, just wanting to grab power? Or is there an alternative that you have?
Tracy, he has to do. She's the acting DG of Labour Party.
In your association of the coalition and in the ADC.
Let me see. Let me go to...
The question people will be asking, what new things should we expect to come out of all of this lot? The question is, do you just want to grab power?
You probably don't want to talk about that.
Because according to the voters, and according to some other persons who say, look, Tinubu is the better of the lot. He's the one that can get things done based on the candidates that were available at the election.
Let me quickly say something. When President Buhari, may God rest his soul, was in power, many people felt, those were bad times, and the economy was going down. But today, how many people have you had?
Okay, see I'm now. Independent National Electoral Commission formally recognizes Dr. Mrs. Nenadi Usman as the Labour Party authentic acting national chairman. Okay, this is as at the 31st. It's all over Twitter. If you go on Twitter, just type in Nenadi Usman acting chairman. You go see him. You go pop up. As at the 31st. Look at even Rufai Oseni said, first, no credible news organization in Nigeria has reported Nenadi Usman was confirmed as acting chairman of the LP as of August 1st. So, I don't know. This is it though. I read to you what I see. So I don't know. Whether you make she come out come debunk her now. I don't see anything. If not be if she come out she go I mean she won't say she has not seen this now. She should come out and debunk it and say no. In fact, that's not true. Do you understand? So I don't know. Let me see. There's a fact check here. Let me see. Fact check Nigeria. Has Nenadi Usman been confirmed? Let's see. Let's see what they say. Okay, no response on that. So I mean, she should come out and debunk it if it's a lie. I mean, it's all over. I mean, that's where I'm reading it from here now. You know, but on the INEC website, the name hasn't changed. Well, you know, say those ones, the guys that they do their own. They want to continue to have a hold, you know, on people. So they're not going to announce it. I don't know, but then again, like I said, if it's a lie, they should come out and debunk it. Now, there's something I saw here. This is it says Nigeria's health first. The House of Reps has just moved to suspend the introduction of genetically modified organisms, GMOs, across the country. I'm going to play the video. Is this a bold step towards food safety? Okay, let me play the video so that Nano will say where for here. Okay.
Is referred to Committee on Ecological Fund. The 10th order of the day is a motion on the need to investigate the introduction of genetically modified crops in Nigeria. Starting in the name of.
Can you guys hear?
Honorable Shagaya is invited to move the motion. 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Mukhtar Tolani Shagaya. I represent Nigerians, starting from Ilorin West, Asa Federal Constituency.
No, I played this video yesterday. But I haven't, I mean, I saw it here, but I haven't seen it anywhere else yet. So I guess still developing news.
The younger generation, some of you who will be alive, you'll be old and possibly stupid.
It's only those who like us who would like them. You do for me, I do for you.
For anybody who changes his principles, depending on whom he is dealing, that is the man who can lead a nation. The rank of many political leaders in Africa are thieves. Let's call them by their name. They are thieves.
Daddy, leave money. Think about my future.
Calculate one was see today first.
Hi, Africa now. Wow. See, whether government or no government, it's a key to survive. I need to survive.
The integrity to win like this, so. I know there is a nigga. Man, nigga.
Yes, they don't sleep.
Okay, so the winner of this gubernatorial election is Chief Amuneke.
I don't tell
say if you don't get money, you don't come to my shop. They give me my yam.
5,000 no fit buy yam again.
5,000 go fit buy votes, but you no go fit buy my yam.
Calm down, you need to register first. What is this? This can't do anything. Does this place look like a charity organization to you?
He collect money, the money not reach and do anything. Yep, Governor Amuneke. Yep. Now in the rain that this guy is really he's the one. No, I'm telling you, his skits are on point. So there's a lady who was talking about this GMO. She went on national news and she said she's the DG of the National Biosafety Management Agency, and she said GMO is actually good for the. Anyway, I beg, may not be listening at my mouth and I take care. I'm gonna listen to her.
Nigeria actually needs GMO.
Now they hear
our food security. We cannot meet up our food requirements by the rural farming that we do. Even in advanced countries, GMO is being used. But I would like to say it's a matter of choice. Nobody forces anybody. There's a choice. But with our population, with what we see, we need to have GMOs. We need to have the GM seeds for planting by our farmers and not planting of grains but of seeds. And even in advanced countries, even just recently in the UK, they approved the importation, approved some grains to be brought into the country.
So, Prof, that's Dr. Sagbra, whom I know you know very well. But you are the Executive Director of the Center for Food Safety and Agricultural Research. Hearing that Nigeria cannot survive mainly on the rural kind of agriculture, that we need GMOs. What's your take on that?
Well, thank you once again, and thank you, the viewers. This was the very same clip I watched that got me, to say the least, infuriated, shameful. Shameful in the sense that that is not the truth. And for a national officer of Dr. Yemisi's standard, well respected, I expected nothing but the truth. Number one, here is the TG of NAFDA, the regulator, openly advertising seeds, proprietary material of foreign countries, companies. It's not a statement of fact that we cannot survive without GMO seeds. Like I alluded to in my previous outing here, one of my previous outings here, I come from Benue State, where a lot of food is produced, which has earned the state the acronym of the food basket of the nation. Right now, as I speak with you, a lot of fruits are wasting in Benue State, and there are no GMOs. Oranges, mangoes, tomatoes, vegetables. Now, to buy into or to sell the narrative to Nigerians and the people of Africa that we cannot do without proprietary seeds from Monsanto or Bayer or Syngenta or whatever company it is uncharitable, to say the least. Because there are good agronomic practices that have been jettisoned in this country. We from the academia have trained people, and we have curricula that expresses these good agronomic practices. For example, if you drop a GMO seed here, it won't grow because you don't meet the good agronomic practices that will encourage its growth. So now, to say that our population is so large is to undermine the fact that even right now in this country, food insecurity, as is being generally touted, is not all about non or insufficient production of food. It's also about economic deprivation. People are there, food is there, there is a glut at certain seasons, there are no sufficient technologies to preserve, and therefore we experience enormous post-harvest losses. Food that would have been preserved for future consumption. So it's not the truth. GMOs are a market strategy, are a commercial strategy to erode national sovereignties of countries supposedly independent. For example, when you submit your food sovereignty on the altar of so-called food security or food insecurity to some proprietary seeds, and now she's talking about grains, that we cannot continue to plant grains. I mean, who told us that narrative? Is it a science? What's the difference between grain and seed? Is it not just about sorting and some germination preservation? So you see, these narratives that I have always said, that have been sold us from without, and we have both beaten the hook, line and sinker, these narratives, if we'll insist and persist on shoving them down the throat of Nigerians, innocent, ignorant Nigerians, we are invariably positioning our country on the altar of, with sovereignty concerns to sink. And when we realize, it will be too late. Nigeria has very large arable land. Nigeria has very agile, youthful population. As a scholar, as a teacher, I also know that I have a responsibility
welcome
to modernize agriculture.
I'm telling you, he go Kaduna today. Wow, I don't know.
That we have surplus in Nigeria to drop them back into agriculture. I also know that the political actors have a responsibility.
Michael, I tell you, complete disgrace.
That the ungoverned
if you say her face, she wasn't even believing what she was saying.
For people like you and I to go in and produce food, fly over Nigeria today, you would see that there is so much land that is yet cultivated. And someone comes to sell us a very narrow, stripped narrative that without GMOs.
Are you worried that this defense is
very shameful? The woman could not even defend. Even when she dey talk her face not match. She kept repeating herself. It is very hard to defend lies. It's so hard. It's the most difficult thing. When you are lying, you are not at peace, because your mind, your conscience will be telling you something else. Your mouth go just dey move, because you know deep down that what you're doing is wrong. Twice now she repeat, say, oh, even in the US, even in overseas, God, the mindset in Nigeria, oh my, this one are DG. Can you imagine? You take money to destroy the lives of your people. Hey, now treason, now be this offense. So for country when they work, they go you carry her, bundle her from there. Treason straight. How much they pay her? How much did she collect? How much? Look at how she has shamed her entire generation. She's been trending all over Twitter. GMO is good. Can you imagine when we get forest for Nigeria, when we never tap? We never even touch the. If you go travel around Nigeria, forest na plenty pass. Untapped. You want them to come and destroy God, we're horrible people, oh. I'm sorry. We're horrible people. You go check now, they don't, una Adeyemi, abina Adeshino, one they carry like this thing. Now he introduce, now he open door for GMO to come. I think Pishek said it the other day when he came the last time. He said he was trained. The man got his training through funding for all the PhDs whether they get through Gates. Now he can get them. Why will he not? As a minister, why will he not approve anything by Gates? You see, I'm speaking English. Look decent with bow tie, coat and tie. They speak English. Spray. You think they mean well for you? They don't. How long was that man on top of agriculture? Not be agricultural bank, not being sit on top. Eh? These people are sellouts. He is the one who allowed the GMOs to pass in the first place. And I remember people saying, "Oh, you make a good candidate for presidency." Well, God forbid. Me, everybody they open their eye now. Not everybody when they speak English. Just when they go school. I find out how they take get their funding. Find out who funds their education. How they take get that education. Who they their back. Easy to tell now. Find out. Don't just follow people blindly anymore. I don't care how intelligent you speak. I beg. For you as a person when you go school, when you know better, you open the door so that people can come and buy on a life your own people. And you are okay with it. And you go to bed and sleep at night. Omo, I don't know. We're very difficult people. We're wicked people. No. Exactly. Heavy poison. You want to bring crisis. Meanwhile, no healthcare, nothing. Now don't destroy everything for Nigeria. Make sure all the doctors not run come up for Nigeria. Who go treat the disease when this thing they accompany? You go fit handle am. All of them now their children they overseas. Overseas they go reach them, and no matter how wealthy you are, as a black person, you can never be white. Never. If you too do, they go strip you of all those privileges. These people are joking. They say they too they are safe from all the nonsense. Oh my God. Yeah, Naim. Michael Naim open the door. Look, that side I tell they look everybody now. Mona not vex. I not trust anybody again, especially Nigerians. When you say they get education and they look you with side eye, man, because you can be bought. It go make you wonder which kind of education they go get. Most of them, I finished from Cambridge, I went to Harvard, I went to Oxford, nothing to show for all the Harvard, all the nothing to show. No development, nothing, absolutely nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. Most of them now, all these big gates, they sponsor their education. They fund them. All this Ford Foundation, now they fund all of them. BlackRock, all of them, now they fund them. They will now come and be coming to try and ask superior over the people at home. Think all the people when they don't go school for Nigeria, when they don't go all the big schools, all the big name schools, what progress have they brought to Nigeria? What have they brought to Nigeria? Nothing. No improvement. Not a damn thing on the lives of the people. It's just self-serving. Self-serving. They fly from one country to the other with private jet, private this, private that. Nothing to show for it. Now, so their name, they wiped out completely from history. Nobody they remember say they exist. They will come like dust, go like dust. Nobody they remember them. I beg you. Nigerians say, no, we need to open our eye now. What we do? No go they do banter for war matter. No. Just they look. This time now observation. Pay attention, put your ears to the ground. Know who the source, where the source of information is coming from. Who they back this person. Where they come. Not be by school, oh. I'm not dissing school. I'm educated. At least I try. I still try go school. Well, a lot of us here are educated. But your education, what is it for if it's not to serve your people? What is the purpose of your education if you cannot serve your people with it? Is that not madness? Sometimes some of the mental health that you hear, African, Nigerians, this one get mental health problem. Now because they not fit express themselves, they never fit give back to the people when they're supposed to give back to. Everything they their head, they want craze because they've not been able to fully express and become all that they ought to be. Look, you need to know what we are doing, no. Yeah, Michael, you're right. We talk sell out. Most of them sell out. They carry handbag for Oyibo. If Oyibo stand, they not fit talk. They want to be close to Oyibo, not be small thing. Ah, no. 2027, na battle. Now we dey go fight. May we ready, oh. May we ready. The information, now this one, they don't empower their media. And they wait Sunday. Make I hear wetin they want talk for that meeting. Because, they need to talk about media. Because they don't ready. They don't even start already. They tweet, they talk, say, oh, Peter Obi, the youth don't reject them. Now lie. If anywhere you see any tweet like that, no waka pass, respond to the person equally. No waka pass, so we are at war. If you see any tweet like that that's trying to demarket Peter Obi and telling you that, oh, the youth is a lie from the pit of hell, you and I know that. I mean, it's self-evident. Self-evident. Since we are not having any revolution anytime soon, the only thing we have to work towards is getting back that country in 2027. By hook or by crook. We gotta take it back. I have to take it back, oh. I no go follow now. They do eye on the judiciary. Lie, no go happen. No. I know they do eye on the judiciary with no goddamn person. These people know what they are doing. Every day they inundate Nigerians. Every day, one thing or the other. One thing or the other. Eh? They're just breaking the people every day, piece by piece. Eh? Ah. Big. Meanwhile, the doctor went buy for elevator 2 years after. They still never repaired that elevator. 2 years after. Then they wait make another person come buy for that elevator again. If you have not yet registered with the Obedient movement, please go and register. It's not just for Obedient, it's for people who support Peter Obi. Okay? Do you guys know anything about a farmer called Kola? He's the CEO of Niji Group. Do you guys know? He's building tractors in Nigeria.
Hey, did you know that SMUD is
I don't know if you guys
Sacramento homeowners thousands
I
of
saw it
dollars
on David
put a backup battery system in.
This is the making of the Gary fryer. And this particular machine can be used for 5, 10, 20 years.
Wow.
Nothing happens to it. We use this one for starch, for flour, for fufu. Anything you want to dry that is in a granular form. This one can, even Pando, this one can dry.
In today's video, we are actually in a company that produces the highest number of agro machinery right here in Nigeria. Most of the machineries that are used in farming, that are used in processing of foods are actually produced by this company, and they produce them locally.
We are #1 fabricator of agricultural processing equipment in Nigeria.
Wow.
And basically what we do is we fabricate, we sell to people, we use on our farm, and I will show you today part of the machines and some of the machines we use in fabrication.
This company is called Niji Group, and we'll be sitting down with the CEO to learn about more how he started this company.
Hey, Michael.
Almost 40 years.
So this man builds agricultural machinery. Man, and he's based, I think he's based in Ibadan, Nigeria. This is fantastical. His name he's called Farmakola, the CEO of Niji Group. Yeah. This is amazing, no? Oh, I didn't know that too. So Trump did not want him. Everything when Trump they do, now make it. Everything when Trump they do, they say na racist. It's not all racist. The man know why they fight the way they fight. I'm not saying he's perfect. Oh, I certainly don't agree with everything he's doing. Look at this, for instance. Now, during that period, did not want to make this man be African Development Bank president. When he thought say no want, people say they racist. What are we finding out now? The same freaking man is the one who opened the door for GMO in Nigeria. You see the problem? Sometimes everything not be color. Sometimes check why this person they refuse this person, because they know their source. Exactly. I'm telling you, Tracy. Now you go give. Meanwhile, we have a local demand. Everything when they use in Nigeria, I take the source. Everything when he build, all the machines when they build now Nigeria. Now it take the look. Ah God. Exactly. Why they not ordering from him? Why don't they give him a contract to supply? Ah God. 2027 is sure. It's sure we gotta be ready. Do you know how many lawsuits against GMOs are in America, Kenny? You think that this thing started with Trump? It started with you know who. I don't want to go into American politics because that's not what we are talking about. Not be make us day here. You know where it starts? Wait to make you to say the man they fight. Wait to make you to say that not part of wait to make Trump they fight where we're that time. I'm not saying Trump is perfect, but this is one of the reasons. In case you don't know. All this gem, why you think he what's it called? He made Robert Kennedy in charge of health. Why? Now part of the process be that. Everything not be racy. That's the problem. Everyone want to racialize everything. If we like when we not get them right. Who also builds farm machineries? Tayo, I know. Did a video on him about 3 to 4 years. Can you imagine? Exactly. And you know they always, they always support truthful people. They support hardworking people. Not thieves like they support. The ones who not go give. See this one now. I sure say he go need funding. The guy go need funding so that he go feel make more to supply. Even the one in the north too, the same thing. Anyway, my people, I beg, be like say I go leave am. Nigeria matter not dey finish. E no dey end. As one dey finish, another one dey come. Now since they see let's see. This their media summit almost was massive. See the hall when they use. Hey. See Sudan, please keep Sudan in your prayers. If there's a way you guys can support. The starvation level for Sudan don't reach an astronomical level. Oh, wow. If to say Nigeria get it right, trust me, at least other countries for Africa go know what that they do. Oh, wow. Una hear the amount of money when they want to repair the Murtala Mohammed Airport. All the airports for Nigeria, only Lagos now they give 700 something million. I say, more we divide this country. May everybody go their region. May everybody use what they get to develop their side. I'm telling you, we can, even when Peter Obi enter, we divide the country, we regionalize them. It don't make sense. Many people fabricating machines, many designs lying waste in Polytechnic and university. Well, when the government does not pay attention, they don't even care about the education. They don't care about anything. Anything that comes from Nigeria, they don't care. I've never seen 712 billion. Yep. Even when they call us Festus Keyamo, they talk about the price. In mouth, no match. It dey heavy for him mouth as they talk. Big. Of course, the welcome package in APC is to drag Peter Obi. That's all they have. That's their that's all they have. It's to drag. Everything is about dragging Peter Obi. See, Ononuga, they talk for the summit. I no wan bother play the video for now. There's no need. Oh my goodness, what the heck? Oh my God, look at this horse and the rider. The horse and the rider, hey, they don't almost enter ocean. No, Lord have mercy. How can you be taking a horse through this? Oh my God, the man and the horse is gone. Okay, they survived. Ha. Oh. Media summit, oh, DG Media Summit. My sister, if you see what APC they do for them, now so they gather everybody, all the minions. They don't pack all the minions for streets for Lagos, everywhere, for that with a matching order. Go after Peter Obi, demarket him as much as you can. That's it. It's all over Twitter, my sister. Go check it out. Anyway, guys, make I leave one for here. I just wanted to come and show those videos and let's, talk about it a little bit and then call it a day, which is what I've done. Less than $10 billion USD, a whole airport built in Mexico. I'm telling you, they're even showing some that were built with 200 million. Tinubu want use $500 million take renovate airport when them just finished brand new terminals yesterday. I'm telling you. I say by the time this man is done, there'll be nothing left in Nigeria. Now people want still now that one, now they want give another 4 term. God forbid. We say no vehemently too. Yeah. Tracy, yeah. So just do hashtag digit. Kenny has typed it out for you. You can go and see what I'm talking about. Now go see. Even there's a particular guy that used to go hard for Peter Obi. The guy is now fully APC. He was there. He was even they were taking his pictures. He was smiling and all of that. What that shows is that the guy was selfish from the get-go. He was doing all of that just for selfish interests. Because I don't understand how you can move from supporting a Peter Obi and then flip the other side just to go and join APC. Now food they look for. You are not looking for the betterment of Nigeria. Now you want to be close to power, to the doors of power. That's what that is to me. But anyway. Oh, you're not on Twitter. Yeah, sorry. I will try maybe next time when I come out. I will play them. I'll put it on video so you can see. Sorry, girl. Maybe it's on YouTube, It's possibly on YouTube. They'll put these things on YouTube. Let me see. Let's see. I'm pretty sure they put it on. TVC might show it. You know what I mean? TVC if you show them more, you know, say now they had them, they like all those kind of things. Adeleke travel expenses, I think in the billions, right? I saw something in the billions about his travel expenses. Meanwhile, what has he done for the people of Osun State? Hey, God, I beg you. I'm telling you, Michael, PhD is selling, fellowship is selling out. They don't pass PhD level. Billions in the past 6 months. It's wild. These people are just cleaning out. They're just stealing. Ha! You know that one a station. Now only they will show the digital summit. Oh my God. Yeah? Meanwhile, diaspora remittance 20 billion is what is driving Nigeria's growth. Hey, God, I beg you. So, yo, wow. Anyway, my people, we could call them a day. I don't try for today. And I don't do well for my body. Thank you so much to all the super chatters. I really appreciate. Tracy, Madam Tokpe, I really appreciate too. I go see you now on my next one. Wanna take care. Stay cool, oh. It's very hot. I don't know how it is over where you are, but if it's that hot, please stay cool. All right, guys. See you on my next one. Night.